What up, my freaks? RuinusInsight here with part, I wanna say 30 of my Total Warhammer 3 Kairos Fateweaver Immortal Empires campaign. So as we saw last time, Kairos Fateweaver actually ran into a challenge for his army, finally, as he faced off against Cetra's stack plus the full stack of a tier 5 settlement in the Black Tower of Arcan. Unfortunately, the battle saw the death of Terratus, the iridescent horror that was part of Kairos' army, though we do have an easy replacement coming in very shortly from Valence over here. Still, and I'm just remembering his death, still it's certainly it's certainly something to think about whether we bother putting the new one on the Burning Chariot again, because it may not be worth it. Maybe just keep him on a disc to keep him a little bit safer, a little bit faster, and a little bit a smaller target. Yeah, we'll see. We'll see. Especially if we get to 2 regular Burning Chariots, I can actually use the damaging Burning Chariots attack in here. It's certainly something to think about. Anyway, lots to do, so let's get right to it. First of all, Adamantus, you need to go north and you need to identify what's going on up here, because we need to see the actual factions that are up there. Then, you two should probably join hands, or feathers, or wings, and your units should be transferred to each other. So let's put you here, although perhaps we may want to nonetheless, let me just see here. Do we want to get any other units in your army recruited? We do still have a few turns here. We could spend 2 more turns getting more Chaos Knights, if we want to do so. Do we want any more Chaos Knights in here? Once again, the problem with Fire is that he doesn't have Chaos Vanguard, and frankly, the Riders of Change buff is also garbage, so he can't really buff Knights, he can't buff Chariots at all, which is why we're going to remove them from the army. And he really would prefer to just have a bunch of ranged units and a bunch of flamers and demonic units and stuff like that. It looks like he does buff Forsaken, but he doesn't actually have the Forsaken buff tree either, so yeah, I really like the Chaos Sorcerer and the Demon Prince's line, the red line, a lot more than I like the regular Demon's line. It just leaves too much out. I mean, it doesn't need to be as inferior as it is. But anyway, I think it should be sufficient for what we've got coming up next, which is the fight against these guys. So, in that light, Alaris, you're going to move here. We're going to swap out the Flamers for, I would say, let's say, the Chariots, because once again, you can't buff them. Somebody's having a good time. And I guess these 2 Halberdier warriors, 3 and 4. We're probably going to reduce this further as well. He's not going to be too good at them, but we need to keep a decent amount of Halberdiers because there's just so much anti-large that we need to be able to apply to this particular army. Alright. Let's do it like that. Now, I guess the question is, do we want to keep these guys or do we want to just delete them for now? And the thing is, there's still a lot of buildings to build. We don't necessarily need another army here. On the other hand, though, one army is not going to take all of Lustria. It's just not possible. I mean, it's perfectly possible, I'm a liar, but it would be kind of a hassle because armies would just go around us and retake stuff that we've taken, which I don't particularly like. So there is certainly a possible reason to get another army going. That said, if we do it that way, it'll probably have to be one of these lords instead, rather than the heralds, which I, once again, am not liking so much. Fortunately, there is an iron-skinned and a scale-skinned type of Chaos Sorcerer, though now that I also think about it again, wouldn't we want another one that's like Iber to evolve into a Demon Prince with buffs? Although I suppose we could get a Demon Prince of Tzeentch rather than a Demon Prince. I'm still salty about you having Evil Eyeball, though. Yeah, I have been really enjoying the use of the various Lure of Metal spells for free, though you do still lack a few things. Also, while we're here, before I forget, Infernal Gateway, Magical Reserves, and Arcane Conduit, please. Alright. And oh, well, we're still gonna have to spend on Transmutation of Lead, aren't we? Not really much of a choice in that. I'm just looking if there's anything else we want to do here, which we obviously can't, but instead of what we've picked here, and I don't think there is. Alrighty, I think that's good enough for now. And oh, also, while you're here, while we're here again, go kill a Nurjug, whatever his name is again, and... What, you can run across the Did you really get away from us like that? Wow. How the heck did he run so far? We were right beside him, damn. Kind of annoying, but we still have to destroy the army, and I'm willing to bet we're gonna suffer attrition now because we'll probably be stuck. You know what I should have just done? I should have just used the ambush stance instead, or not ambush stance, teleportation stance instead. Oh well, not a big deal. Let's heal up slightly. And even in March stance, yeah, we can't leave the swamp, so let's just channel magic. Yeah, it's all attrition-y. Man, we got a Fencer's Blades though, so that made it somewhat worthwhile. Yeah, just start moving away. I feel like we're going to move you back down here. Somebody has to deal with Thoric, and also somebody has to deal with the, somebody has to deal with these armies, and obviously Vindex here can't do it, at least not yet. His army is too weak. We'll have to consider it, but anyway, lots of stuff remains to be done. So Fire, you are good now, and you can march stance. Well, if you're not going to build anything, you can start moving out there. Laris, go back to Sinhal Monolith. If we want to keep some of these units, we may keep your army around. Alrighty, so you guys are then good. Next up, Kairos, you should have an auto-resolve ready at, let's say, El Calabad. Great Desert of Araby. Wait, Great Desert of Araby is a single location? Interesting. And what, nothing is buildable there? Strategic location? Huh. I never noticed this. Well, that should be interesting, but anyway. And the question is, do we go down here and allow these guys to move north? Maybe we do. I feel like if we take Pools of Despair, we're more likely to get attacked by King Araru here. Whereas if we take Al Calabad, it's unlikely that they attack us. Yeah, head to Al Calabad then. And just hope that it's auto-resolvable. And also Valens, keep following Kairos, obviously. Auto-resolve, yes. And occupy the place. Nice. Wailing Banner I don't really care about, but, you know, free stuff is free stuff. El Calabad, you need walls immediately, alas. And, ooh, before I forget, we also need to swap our magics around. So minus, minus, plus, plus. Ah, there's another one. And everything else looks good. Okay. Gotta not be forgetting that. And also, while we're here, let's do some changing of the ways. First of all, we can only see Hemry right now. We want to see the dwarfs, that's for sure. Reveal Shroud on Karazakarak. And we also want to reveal Shroud on the Cult of Sotek. And we probably want to see the intentions of the Cult of Sotek. Yeah. Since we're going to be fighting them pretty big time. Alrighty, that looks good to me. And next up, we want to force war between Cult of Sotek and the Hunts Marshal's expedition. I was thinking about doing it between the elves here and the orcs, but honestly, everything here is fighting everything else anyway, so I don't think it would make much of a difference. Whereas these guys, putting another war against them and against another front might be good for us, so let's do that. We also do have transfer settlement available, but I don't see any good use for it right now, so let's just rather do that. Force war is quite useful after all. There we go. We'll see how that, we'll see how all that goes for him. Alrighty, and we will still be able to transfer settlement relatively shortly as well, so that's not bad. Eckhart, keep moving north. You got places to be, someday. You've been trying to move north for ages now. And Vindex. Ah, Vindex. You can't defend against the full stack like this, but we could send you to Springs of Eternal Life for now, and we'll see if King Erotic tries to move down to Kasabar. We also do have to watch out for him hitting Karagorud, though likelihood of getting through the garrison here is pretty negligible, I would say. Also, while we're here, again, this is a while we're here episode, go for this and go for this. Oh, and if we're going to keep with these, we should probably wait on this. But then again, if this takes 11 turns, probably won't make much of a difference either. Alrighty, well, we'll see. Well, let's go to building now. Nope. GARALOUS first, and then building. Granti Mingo, you have a full territory, though you are currently in the Architect's Theorem. I guess we could go past you and move upwards toward Dragonhorn Mines and try to take Ekrund and stuff. Especially before Scarby gets here. Once again, we actually want the Badlands to be ours. I'd really rather Scarby take the mountains, but he doesn't want to do it, damn it. Alrighty, well, keep going this way, and damn. Armies will suffer attrition in the barren wasteland. Man, we seem to suffer attrition everywhere we go. We could encamp, we could jump forward for free. Pretty far as well. Ooh, and that would allow us to jump on the road here. Road keeps us from suffering attrition, yes. Alright, go here then. And then just hope that they don't go for Galbaraz or Gronti Mingle, although I think at this point Galbaraz would need a full stack to take it, so we're not nearly as worried as we once were about that. Alrighty, the rest of that looks good. Let's see about those buildings then. Gorgazan, you will need walls, or actually you will need growth first. Or actually you will need nothing, because we're going to give you to Skarbrand, together with Agrul Migdal, when we finally get rid of Thorek, although I'd really love to continue farming his defeat trade. Black Tower of Arcan, you get a wall, and you don't technically need this right now, we'll rebuild it later, but I want the money building first. Great Mortis Delta, you should be able to hold, you should be fine. Alright, Heart of the Jungle, you are good. Khemri, you are goodish, in the sense that I don't want to spend any money there. Ah, but the Plain of Tuskers, you are a different story. Money spend, and money spend. There we go. We'll have to be able to get the furs, but we'd rather get the lattice for more cash. Direct cash is always better. And there we go, good. And good, and... yeah, let's upgrade you, why not? And then a lattice here as well. Perfect. Shifting Sands, ooh, lots to build here. So Bagar, you can go for the Cultist Enclave. Antok, you can go for the Stygian Well, although these things are relatively far from any enemy attacks, but I think for now we keep them as they are. But later on we will most likely get rid of the walls here. It's too interior. Yeah. But that'll be later. Anyway, we can build this, we can build this, we can ignore you until we change you to a military location. We can build the Cultist Camp, and that's probably the best way to do it. Yeah, wait. Yeah, Cultist Camp. Alrighty, and let's not spend this cash right now, but we will probably do so next turn. I'm almost tempted to delete that new army just to get a few extra turns of getting massive amounts of money in. I really don't want to overdo it and reduce our income so much, considering we're gaining so much new territory right now. And that wouldn't be so great. We can wait here at the Devil's Backbone. We cannot wait here at the Lost Plateau, however. Lost Plateau, you can have yourself one of these little guys. Slither of Potential. And let's see if there's anything else that we need to do. Okay, you're cheap, so yeah, you are, well, I wouldn't say cheap, but certainly affordable. Same thing with you. Ooh, you can go to tier 5, but 6k is a little bit on the steeper side now. And there's no money to be had from any of these. Alamia's almost done, though. That's lovely. And I believe we're good with the rest. Yeah, just gotta keep getting those military buildings up. Yeah, you know what I think? I think that regardless of the fact that these are high-tier units, it's not worth keeping these guys around and reducing our supply line income by virtue of having this army. We'll get a new army up and running afterwards. Even though it hurts to lose high-level chariots, but to be fair, chariots level up fairly quickly, so yeah, let's go like that. And Fire can continue moving north by himself for a little while, yeah, 27k, very nice. Clearly everything we're building is costing a ton, so... money. Unholy Manifestations, we can get Magic Flare, but I don't see any use for it right now. Perhaps when we go north with Fire, might be able to use it against the Cult of Sotek if we get him into a dangerous situation, as he will be alone and unsupported. Also, I would really like to know who's at Nagashazar. Why does it have 100% Skaven Corruption, nobody there? But we know Clan Moors isn't there. Alright, Doomglade, can you summon a hero? No, I want to summon a temporary hero and send him up there. Let's say... you're a strategist, you can move fast, go up. And go to Nagashazar. Would it be faster to go by sea? Probably. Go by sea instead. It still wouldn't be very fast, but I'm really curious. And I guess you can get Specialist. We're going to delete you after anyway, so it doesn't really matter what you get. But who knows, you may have to assassinate somebody on the way. The possibility certainly exists. Alrighty, well that's good for you, though you'll be costing us like 200 money per turn or something. The rest, I believe, is skippable. No. This is gonna bother us forever, isn't it? You know what? It's gonna bother us forever, so I'm just gonna build it. The frickin' outpost. Ooh, speaking of outposts, how are our little ratlings doing? This will also need an upgrade if we go for a military alliance, but for now it's just not worth it. We'll have to see if they survive first, and either way, it'll be better if we can just get a new ally with either Molder or Scryer, both of which are reasonably okay with us at the current time. Especially if we fight their enemies later on, they will love us even more. Alright, end turn time. I don't think anybody's close enough to attack us right now, so we shouldn't be that concerned. Wintertooth encountered, but I think, maybe if we become friendly with Wintertooth, the clan Molderskaven might like us, depending on if in this particular campaign Molder and Wintertooth have allied, but they usually do, because they have lots of enemies nearby. Mutual enemies, that is. Ally mobilizes, exiles, good, you do that. Kairos, while you can't reach the Desert of Araby, and you have to wonder if King Araru is going to hit the Pools of Despair. And we shall see shortly. Also, you can get a lattice. Kairos, move towards the pools, but in an ambush-type way. Let's say... Wow, you can actually hit the pools from here, but then what would Araru do? Wait, you can't just jump on him, can you? No, unfortunately you cannot. It would have been nice, though. Alrighty, so we could just hit the pools from here, then. And then he can either go for Xandri, he can run away, he can try to go around us and die. It won't matter. And while he does have some nice stuff in his army, he's a single army. This is not a concern to us. I also do want to check whether we can get our little helper to join us. Yes, indeed we can. Go join Kairos, please. And then Kairos can auto-resolve again. He'll be hurt, but meh. Alrighty, and then we'll occupy the place. Lots of free stuff. Dawnstone, or lots of free territory, I meant, although some of this stuff is free as well. Aha! Land of the Dead. Gotta keep checking Winds of Magic manipulation. I wish that it would automatically just do this for you, you know? Like, this is what the player is going to be doing all the time, so the game should recognize that and just do it for you. Alright, let's keep moving you north. Let's move Fire north as well, although it'll take him a while to get there. I'll probably just land him at the Citadel of Dusk and just declare war on them and attack him immediately. Alrighty. Losing my voice a little bit today. Happens more often than you'd think. Let's see. Throat Cruncher. That's a pretty good name. You're actually outside the settlement. Ooh, and look at what the garrison's got at Ekron. That's pretty nice. Huh. Now, unfortunately, your army is a little bit beat up, but I'm still tempted to take the fight. Also, where is Thorek? You know what? Keep moving down here. And, okay, these guys are still here. Oh, they're building more armies. Alright, Thorek is there. Okay, wait. How do we do this? Ooh, you also need to continue building troops, damn it. For retrofits, for various retrofits. Now, your melee line is pretty good. You need some Chosen as well as some Knights and Doom Knights. But that's going to have to wait because we can't build either, at least not without paying insane amounts of markup by building it through Global. And I don't really want to do that right now. So the question is, if we're going to retrofit, how are we going to retrofit you? We could also build some more Exalted Pink Horrors and get a few into Vindex's army. Because he's going to have primarily Pink Horrors, Exalted Pink Horrors, Blue Horrors, maybe some Cultists. Might want to actually build him some Flamers as well. I'm not sure. Once again, I don't want to make his army too similar to Kairos's, but a couple regular Flamer units won't make much of a difference, I don't think. Yeah, let's build a couple regular Flamers. And then I believe we can... Oh, let's build a couple more regular Pink Horrors. There we go. And we'll see what we have left after these 2 turns are over. I also don't want to overspend still. Okie dokie, well, if we're going to fight with GARALOUS, we might as well fight now. Mostly because I've talked enough. Do we have to swap out any of your stuff? You still are using relatively weak items, aren't you? But we still lack good items. Torment Blade could be swapped out for the Fencer's Blades to keep you a little bit healthier. Although the Hex may be more valuable since you're not really fighting in melee, are you? Forbidden Rod, you are here by yourself as the only caster. Although you have no way to heal yourself. And Forbidden Rod's a really good item. Wait, cultists can carry these? Huh. I didn't realize that. Interesting. Oh, of course they can. They can cast. Right. I'm thinking of Exalted Heroes that can't carry these. Too confusing with the other Tzeentch campaign. What can we delete here? Oh, we have a Power Stone here as well. That's potential. Featherfoot Torque, Dawnstone. Do we need a Featherfoot Torque? Not really. Use these two into another Torment Blade, of course. Potion of Speed, Scroll of Shielding. Well, we're not losing Power Stones, that's for damn sure. Obsidian Amulet. Obsidian Lodestone, aha, you two. Out. Into another Void Armor. One of the worst blue items. Ugh, I'm pretty tempted to fuse these two Void Armors into another blue item. They're just so bad. I mean, I would probably rather use the Gambler's Armor than the Void Armor. And yeah, Terror could be useful on a minor lore like this, but yeah, you know what? These aren't good enough to be using. Yeah, fuse. Come on, something not garbagey. Please don't be another Void Armor. Armor of Destiny, there we go. That's how you do it. And wait, isn't that what we were supposed to get Kairos? Just out of curiosity here. It may not be an Armor of Fate, but Kairos, what do you have? Yeah, you're still using that Helm of Discord. You know what? Armor of Destiny for you, buddy. You're always getting yourself into situations. There we go. That's pretty considerable. And with the extra ward save on the Crystal Pendant, he still has the other Trickster Shard, because he doesn't need to heal himself, well, generally. You have a Spell Shield, and you have... You know what? We could give you the Helm of Discord. You could fly overhead on your disc and annoy people with it. It'll be easy to position you into a place where you can apply to a lot of enemies. Though we should still be careful with you. Alrighty, well, good. Wasn't expecting to do that much for Kairos, but yeah, we'll see. Oh, you could also use an Armor of Destiny at some point as well. Yeah, we need to swap a lot of items around. We still really lack the items, hence the farming of the old Grumslayer defeat trait. Alrighty, well, you can keep Gambler's Armor, and fine, keep the Torment Blade for now. Obsidian Trinket gives you spell resistance, but perhaps we're better off giving you... Do we actually have any non-spell resistance? Just like a Dawnstone? That's physical resistance. I wanted Ward Save, but it's still better than nothing, so let's go for Dawnstone. And then enchanted item... You know what, arcane item, Trickster Shard is useless. Let's just give you the... Power Stone. It's only one use. We can use the Forbidden Rod 3 times. Yeah, fine. Use it. Use the Forbidden Rod instead. Alrighty, and then your little minion can have the Power Stone. I really feel like we need to power this army up. Power Stone for you, and Gambler's Armor. Wait, you have a Gambler's Armor as well, right? Yeah. All right, Gambler's Armor for you. Hand weapon. You know what? If you're going to be in melee on that War Shrine, you could definitely use the Fencer's Blades for the little bit of extra melee defense. Yeah, alright. Though I suppose the Torment Blade also has a place, but, And then Arcane item, Enchanted item, wait, or rather Talisman and Enchanted item. Neither of which I think we have. I'd give you the Obsidian Trinket, I guess. Although we'll probably just turn it into something else relatively shortly. And the Potion of Speed I'm not even going to bother giving to you because it's quite useless for you in particular. Also, do you have maxed out stuff here? You seem to. We get a Wailing Banner on... These guys cause... Well, the Weird Spawn cause terror, but these guys only cause fear. We could get a Wailing Banner and put them on, like, the Chaos Warriors. Although I suppose the same thing could be set up by melee line of another army. The other stuff doesn't really matter. You know what? I think that's good enough. I think it's time to fight. Let's see about drawing out the garrison and how many of them we can destroy and how much damage we take here. It's definitely going to be dicey. But it'll be fun. The Black Orcs are really going to be a major issue here. There's 4 Snotling pump wagons, and only 1 piece of artillery, though. If we blob up properly... Yeah, if we need to find a good piece of terrain and a good location to blob up at. That'll be the main thing here. Alright, well, let's give it a try cinematically. Get to it.
Come, warriors of Tzeentch, destroy these weaklings and deliver them to their fate.
Alright, here we go. I gotta say, I'm pretty excited about this particular battle. It does seem like it will be a fun one, and that by virtue of the fact that it will seem, or rather it does seem, like it should be reasonably difficult. The main thing that we have to ensure with this particular fight is that we somehow try to funnel the enemy into as big a blob as possible, rather than spreading out where those pump wagons can go to work, or where those Black Orcs can destroy our poor Forsaken. The enemy does have quite the melee line, much bigger than ours, and once again, the pump wagons could be very dangerous, both to our Forsaken as well as our Pink Horrors. In that light, we're going to try to form up between here and here. There's a cliffside here and a bit of a rock formation, whatever you want to call this thing. Right here, maybe this is some kind of geyser thing? Is that what these are? I don't see any water pooling in them. Well, it's something. It's something. And then anyway, yeah, we're gonna try to make a line here so we can protect our Pink Horrors and try to hold that if we can. Obviously, the enemy started with a Lord on the field, and we're going to get a decent amount of blue fires on him to get him at least to, well, 75 or half HP, and then send the rest of our units in to clean him up. Specifically, the weird spawn, the Regiment of Renowned Chaos spawn, which have Sunder armor, which we're going to apply here just to make it a lot easier for the Forsaken to kill him, because obviously they don't have Sunder armor. Otherwise, the enemy army is coming in 40 seconds. We're going to try to get our Lord over there shortly to apply his magics to them, and try to harass the enemy army as they move in. Also, I want to know, isn't this like a lovely picturesque map? This is very nice. The clear sky, the flat map, it should make it very nice to be able to see what the heck is going on in the battle. Alrighty, well, we might be seeing what goes on, but this guy here, not so much. Mr. Throat Cruncher should be dead shortly. He's surrounded by our Forsaken as well as our Weird Spawn. His armor down to a mere 40, and thus the Forsaken dishing out quite a bit of damage. I had never considered how useful the Weird Spawn, specifically with their armor sundering, would be to an army of Forsaken. It would be nice if we could have some more armor sundering effects in particular here, as they would be useful. Yeah, definitely need metal sorcerers to use Plague of Rust and such to lower enemy armor and stuff. Huh, if only we had Soul Blight or the Withering available to us from the other lores. But anyway, here comes the main host, and there are quite a lot of orcs on the field. We'll have to be careful with this. We also got to note that several of the enemy units are actually more vulnerable to blue fire than they are to pink, even though the blob of enemies is pretty massive. Specifically, the Black Orcs will be the target of many a blue fire from our Lord. Now, the enemy does have a few archers on the field, and at least one archer chariot, the Goblin Wolf chariot, but it ain't that much range fire, so I think we're relatively free to annoy them as much as we can. And man, it's so bizarre to see like a overcast pink fire move through a complete blob of units and no blood at all because they can survive that damage. But oh well. Keep working it. We can also see the Glean magic going down on the enemy Lord. Might as well deprive them of some magics and buff ourselves up while we're at it. And this is another reason why we wanted to deploy all the way on the other side of the map. Ooh, there we go. Blue fire's doing some damage. The longer the enemy takes to get to us, the more time we have to harass them with all of our magics. Alrighty. Well done. Although this is obviously Not even close to the kind of damage Kairos can do, but I'm sure you're doing okay. Let's see, we got 25k damage done already after all. The kills aren't that high, but the HP is certainly dropping, and we certainly need to wear the enemy down, especially as the balance of power is still very much in their favor. Alright, keep working it, GARALOUS. It's your time to shine, buddy, and he's popping his Forbidden Rod, which is freely usable. I hadn't considered this previously, that the Forbidden Rod doesn't go through the shield, as in the shield counts Forbidden Rod damage. Though I feel like since you're using it yourself, it should probably just directly affect your HP, rather than the barrier, but I'll certainly take it. Great for Tzeentchian units, that they don't have to suffer damage from Forbidden Rods. Now I just want more Forbidden Rods. I guess Nikari and I have something in common. Alrighty, and I think we're just about done with the spell work here. As in, we're probably starting to run a little bit low on the power reserves. Of course, both pink and blue fires are cheap, but there's only so many we can cast. Also, the formations have been somewhat broken up. As we can see, the Black Orcs are no longer moving in nearly as tight a formation, though this one's still okay, as they were before, and thus they will be taking a lot less damage from the blue fires in that light. We can still continue to apply those blue fires once they've joined the fray in a big blob, which I will once again say is preferable and one of the goals for this battle. Alrighty, well, I think we've seen plenty of that. Let's speed the battle up a little bit here as the enemy gets a little bit closer and we get the proper fight going. A lot of this campaign, after all, has been, you know, attacking enemy armies while they move towards us. And here we go. Looks like some of the enemy pump wagons actually managed to sneak up on us and are going to go around the rock and hit our pink horrors. I was a little bit too distracted casting those magics, and then I saw this and then immediately panicked, sent in our Forsaken, which were waiting in as reserves, together with our War Shrine cultist, as well as our spawn here. Really got to destroy these pump wagons as fast as possible. Even gonna send in the Furies, but this is just to surround the pump wagons and prevent them from running away. I don't actually expect the Furies to do much, if any, damage to them. Still, it seems to be working at keeping these guys in place, and this is exactly what we want, and just like that, both units of pump wagons are out and are running away. They are expendable. Oh, I hadn't realized that the pump wagons were tier 3. Seems counterintuitive, doesn't it? A tier 3 expendable unit? Interesting. Insofar as you can not call any orc unit expendable, as in they would all be expendable to some degree, but anyway. We're going to speed this up once again just a little bit, let the enemy army approach so that we can watch the battle proper, otherwise it's going to take forever. And get a little bit of that pink fire going against those goblin wolf chariots. They wanted a ranged shootout, but I don't think they'd win, even against pink horrors. Ooh, and looks like the orc boar boy biggins, I believe, are going to charge directly at us, and we're going to countercharge them with those chaos spawn. I do wish that the Chaos Spawn got a little bit more love from the animations, like, I know that they have that frenzied attack animation. Here, there we go, that's the one I'm talking about. But they have so many interesting appendages and stuff. I really wish that they'd use those more. Not in the Nikari fashion, unfortunately, but in their attacks. I feel like they could have done more with those. Though, to be fair, the Chaos Spawn are old units, probably with old animations, and I imagine that they haven't gotten any rework. Anyway, we've opened up a Gate of Tzeentch and gotten some pink horrors onto the field, which are blocking several units of black orcs, which is pretty ideal, while the rest of our pink horrors fire on said on said piles of black orcs. Otherwise, it looks like the battle is more or less joined. As we can see, our relatively smaller army is still blocked up around these cliff sides, but it is seeming to work out reasonably well thus far, as the enemy isn't able to establish a massive front. We do still have our 2 Forsaken units in the background here waiting to reinforce whatever location needs it, and it does look like this side will be needing some reinforcement by virtue of the fact that the enemy is going to go around the rock rather than completely blob up on this side. That's alright though, I think we can manage it. And this entire battle, rather than using it when the enemy went onto the field, we've been saving up and are now ready to use that Firestorm of Tzeentch, specifically on those Black Orcs, which are in the center here. Though they do move just as the Firestorm comes down, it looks like quite a few of them will still be clipped. Unfortunately, the Pink Horrors died just as those guys were coming in. Oh well, not a big deal though. Certainly worked out for us, and it looks like they got pretty badly damaged. A Bolt of Change coming in, which I believe also sunders armor, which is quite useful on those Black Orcs as well. And yeah, there we go. We holding ground. Although, as we can see, as usual, as pretty much always, our poor cultist here getting focused down by the enemy range. The said cultist, however, is hitting back, getting that piercing bolts of burning down in the blob of enemies that have tried to break through the side. And look at the damage there. Those guys are pretty much done already, even though the Forsaken probably haven't killed that many of them. So I got to attribute it to the overcast piercing bolts of burning. Good job to the cultist, though. He's taken so much damage from those archers already. They're all focusing him, even though a couple of them have been pretty badly damaged and seen off by the Furies, who have focused on both archers as well as goblin rocklobbers, hence the damage on said archers. We're in fact going to switch damage from our Pink Horrors towards those archers now, as we need to bring them down, otherwise they'll do too much damage. Another Gate of Tzeentch has also opened, and a Lord of Change moved onto the field to either distract archers or hurt them, and apply a little bit of his own pink fires to the fray as well. Alrighty, well done everybody. It looks like we're holding the ground quite admirably here. This may not be Kairos' army, but we can certainly hold the ground, or actually Iber's army. Kairos' army isn't really built to hold the ground so much as dish out damage before the enemy can get to him. And there we go. So begins the back and forth, as in the enemy runs in and runs back out over and over again as the units rout and then rout and rally repeatedly. Our Lord has also dropped down to try to annoy the enemy Black Orcs here, though mostly I was hoping to chase them off the field, which kind of failed, but that's okay. We can always go after the enemy Lord, and we don't want to be surrounded by the Black Orcs, so we're going to get a Gaze of Fate on them and then run our Lord away. Otherwise, it looks like the main enemy line has collapsed, and it's, as we can see, they've lost about half their units, and the balance of power is about 75% in our favor. We've also apparently won on this flank, as all of our Forsaken are chasing off all those badly damaged units that got crippled by those piercing bolts of burning. Alrighty. Yeah, good job to this army. I mean, I feel like I've rightly been treating this army as our weakest army. After all, it has a lot of Forsaken, which are weak, at least in campaign. They're pretty darn weak in that they're fragile. So this is not the type of army that is generally good at facing off against armies that have more than one stack. One-on-one, sure, great, but yeah, the more enemies, the more dangerous it is, because, well, we can't hold because our poor Forsaken will just suffer too much damage and thus die. But apparently they worked out quite well here, so I'm very proud of them all. Well done, Forsaken. And well done to the Chaos Spawn. You guys get pats. Or pets. Specifically you and you. Nobody else. It's favoritism. Anyway, there we go. Time to chase off the enemy as much as we can. This is one of the other reasons that we wanted to deploy all the way on this side of the map. The enemy had to run through, they had to run to us, taking magical damage the entire time. If they actually ran, their units would have also gotten tired. Plus, on top of it all, they have to run all the way back to the other edges while we chase them down. Of course, we don't have Cav in this army, and just the Chaos Furies are our only really fast-moving units, although the Forsaken Forsaken and the Chaos Spawn do manage to chase some enemies down. Of course, not all. Our Lord is fast, however, and he did kill the enemy Lord, and it looks like the enemy army, if alive, is very, very badly damaged, and we might be able to auto-resolve the enemy settlement after this. Let's find out. Well, we certainly took some damage, but frankly it turned out to be a lot less dicey than I was originally thinking it would be, so good job to GARALOUS and the Forsaken host. Let's devour those captives for a little bit of healing while we're here, and ooh, we got an Agent of Change as well. Alrighty, now I believe you already have one unless I'm mistaken, so we have to give that to another army, but that is certainly a very good pickup. This garbage we should be able to auto-resolve. We should double check that there is no other army to capitalize on us being weak afterwards, and it seems like it's just Icky here, and Icky can't reach us in one turn, so Ekrund shall fall. There we go. Well done to GARALOUS. And, ooh, no, occupy it. I'm always tempted to sack it for the money, but not this time. Also, this means we have a new territory to change Winds of Magic at, but it won't be necessary here. Okie dokie. Now we definitely need walls here. We have the growth, which is great. Keep collecting the income. You have... Oh, interesting. Wait, damn, if only you had gotten the Chosen building here instead. Chaos Knights and...
Change incarnate.
Ironically, this would have been great for Iber, but he can in theory move up here and go to Ekrund, especially if we keep this building here. We don't have a lot of these buildings because they don't provide any increase to capacity. At least agent capacity. Now, you know what? I'm gonna leave that there. However, we do want the Lost Athenium, so I guess we delete the Cult of Secrets for now, but I'm sure we'll build it back at some point. Alright, let's do that. Good job, GARALOUS. Good job, buddy. And... yeah, well, we're not going to replace anything that you currently have with anything here. I really find the Chaos War Shrine unit fairly pointless, as, well, at least in the campaign. In the campaign, pointless. Because you just build agents to use those instead. Kind of like Necromancers and Corpse Carts in, for the Vampire counts. Same sort of situation. But anyway, and good job. Agent of Change. To where do you go? I assume that Iber has one. Yeah, and Kairos should definitely have one, and if it doesn't, well, then I'm an idiot. Okay, now. Kairos does have one. Fire, you're up next. Do you have an Agent of Change? You do not. In fact, you have barely anything. Okay, well then. Okay, well, none of these. I was like, something, but none of those were what I wanted. I don't care about the Tzeentch Mutant. You can have the Agent of Change, have a War Banner. Wailing Banner's not going to be super useful for you, but you can have a Ranger Standard so that you fly a little bit faster, I guess. Lichbone Pennant, not really useful on anything here. I'll have to find something to put a Lichbone Pennant on. Like, if we could get, like, a giant from another faction that doesn't do magical damage and put the Lichbone Pennant on it, making it a magical giant, that seems like it might be a good way to go. Now, Vindex, well, I think you have to stay where you are. Although, you can now build your own pink and blue horrors, can't you? Because Springs of Eternal Life are part of Khemri. Huh. Although you're taking up the building slots here. You know what? Maybe there's a better way to do it. Rather than build these pink horrors here, and rather than building the flamers here, what we do is cancel this flamer. Too bad we can't make you go into one turn. Yeah, we'll cancel you, because you would be transferring stuff to you anyway. And then the local recruitment gives us 1 point, so we take out, let's say, one of these blue horrors. And then we build a flamer here. And then next turn we build more once these guys are out. And then obviously Voljax is going to ferry a bunch of units away. And I suppose he has to go up to Ekrund anyway. to transfer the flamers and the additional spawn to this army. Though frankly, if this didn't cost us 4 turns, I would just build these at a global, because they don't cost that much to build. But the turns are a little bit steep. I'm almost tempted to get a temporary lord up here instead, to build those out of Ekrond in global recruitment while GARALOUS takes these territories. You know what, that might actually be better, which would also mean we wouldn't need to build these 2 at all. And these flamers could be directly transferred to Vindex or to somebody else, like Iber, for example. Though he might not use those at all, we'll actually see. You know what? Yeah, we'll have to think about that. There's some retooling that we're going to do with the way that we're recruiting right now, but I think we'll have to leave it till next time because I'm going to call it here. Said next time we'll see us probably continuing to fight the various Tomb Kings with Kairos here. I don't know whether King Araru will attack us. He'd be crazy too, but you never know. The AI might do such a thing. And either way, there's still plenty of orcs to kill for GARALOUS, and perhaps, if we can reach them, some high elves to kill for fire. We'll have to stay tuned for next time to find out whether that's the case, so do so. Don't forget to leave a like and comment for your friendly neighborhood heretic. All glory to the algorithm, and thanks for watching.